wealth of knowledge. Thank you for doing that. Wealth of knowledge on thermography. He's been doing it for years. And so we're excited to learn about why this is an exciting opportunity and how to get started top to bottom. So yeah, go ahead, Melinda.
Yeah, so I'm just excited because, as many of you know, I had become involved in thermography in 2023, spring of 23, with a different company. And it was a wonderful opportunity, and it made us aware of thermography, and I got to get started. And we were also promoting that company for about 6 to 9 months or so. And then that company decided to close their thermography program. And it was kind of a bummer for us, just because we wanted to help spread the awareness of thermography and help to grow the field of thermography. Because, like I mentioned, we realize that it's not saturated, and there are plenty of places that are underserved. I've still heard of places all over the country where people have to drive over an hour, sometimes multiple hours, to even find a thermographer. So to me, I just feel like this is a both kind of an entrepreneurial venture, but also I personally feel like human health is being compromised in certain ways right now that maybe previous generations haven't had to deal with, things like EMFs or just like the variety of things that are harming human health. And I just think we all really need to be paying closer attention to the inflammation in our body. So even on the level of health, I really think there's a need for thermography and for people to pay more attention to what's going on in their body, with just different types of screening, and thermography being one of them. So it was really exciting when Scott and I happened to find Kristin and Med-Hot only a few weeks ago. Is really maybe what, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
just so excited that, here's a company that we can get behind, and they're really positioned as, in our opinion, the top of the field, with the quality and the support and just a great reputation, and a company that is growing and something that you can really count on for thermography. So we are just so excited to share with the people who have been kind of in our Facebook groups and online, wanting to also learn, like, what is thermography and more about it, and the opportunity. So yes, thank you, Kristin, for coming on today and sharing with us more about thermography.
Sure, and thank you very much, Melinda and Scott. It's great to be here, and I hope that I can see some of those wonderful faces behind those names too eventually. Thanks everyone for coming on board tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm really excited to present.
Actually, I'm gonna let you drive.
Can you all see my screen that says Med-Hot infrared imaging and this beautiful colorful?
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. And it's really great to be able to talk to like-minded people, and people who will embrace what we're trying to do here. And we're so excited to be part of the holistic community. I personally was born and raised in a holistic family. My mom sold Shaklee vitamins back in the day. And while all my friends were taking their Flintstone vitamins and all that chewable junk, I was taking like huge green alfalfa tablets and, all kinds of powders and things. But I embraced it. And to this day, I still do all that stuff. But I went to Clayton College of Natural Health back in the 90s, and then Trinity School of Natural Health. And then I started as a wellness coach in my hometown. And I met this remarkable woman named Dr. Carol Chandler, who was doing thermography. And I'd never heard of it until I met her. And I became a patient of hers. And then as I was growing my wellness business, I had her come and do little chats for me, presentations in October. And she'd come and I'd have the whole place looking pink. And she'd come in and go, "Ooh, wow, look at all that pink." And one day she asked me if I'd like to work for her and learn thermography. And that was in 2011. And the rest is history. I became a trainer, a master trainer. Dr. Carol and I traveled to Europe, and we trained people together from all over the world, literally every corner of the world, the Philippines, China, Australia, South Africa, you name it, and all of Europe. We've done it. And it's really exciting to be able to share what we've learned about thermography with you. So let's get started. So, you know, we believe there's a different way to experience healthcare, and we call it health discovery. It's really the only imaging tool that allows you to see that silent process of inflammation without invasive procedures. So when you think about X-ray, when you think about MRI, ultrasound, these are all modalities that look at certain tissues or bones, but nobody can see inflammation. They are all blind to inflammation, except for thermography. And thermography directly images inflammation in the form of blood profusion, the sympathetic response on the surface of the skin, injury, all kinds of interesting things we're going to talk about tonight. Health discovery is more like a journey that you take with your trusted healthcare practitioners. You know, it's not like you just show up at the doctor's and say, "Doc, what's wrong with me? Give me something, and I will see you in a year." It's about this journey that you take with your trusted healthcare practitioners, making adjustments along the way, always working together side by side on your longevity and your optimum health. And so health discovery is a different way to experience healthcare, and we are all in. As a matter of fact, medical thermography serves the holistic community by being able to do this non-invasive procedure that shows some of the earliest signs of any kind of potential problem in the body. And of course, that's inflammation. It's there very quietly simmering for perhaps years or even decades, a very silent fire that once you're maybe 80% in, you start to feel those symptoms that would drive you to the doctor. But imagine being able to see this inflammation and being able to do something about it before it becomes a problem, before it might even have a symptom. So right here on this slide, we're looking at acid reflux. And you can see this is approximately where the esophagus is in the body, and it's putting a pattern on the surface of the skin. It's a sympathetic response whereby the esophagus will send a message to the spinal cord saying, "Hey, I'm in trouble here." And the spinal cord send a message to the surface of the skin, putting a pattern on it for us to see, which is really interesting right there. Just that neurological sympathetic response is really kind of cool. Here's some other really neat images. Now, when you look at images like these, you may not have seen this kind of thermography before. So what I want to know is, who in this chat here, in this Zoom call, has ever had a thermogram? Anybody want to raise their hand and let us know about it? What was it like? Nobody. Okay, Stacy, unmute yourself and tell us what it was like to have a thermogram.
It was easy. It was amazing.
Good.
You know, I think what I've only done, I did a full body scan, but the reason why I did it, it was a couple years ago, is because I had a lump in my left breast and I was no way going to go get a mammogram or anything like that. And I try to avoid doctors as much as possible. And so that was the first place I went. And it really gave me peace of mind to find out that it was very low risk for cancer. And I ended up going away in other ways that I used to make it go away. So it gave me so much information about my body. I wish I still had the information here. It was a couple years ago, but it was awesome.
Oh, great. Thanks for sharing. Talia, you've got your hand up. Can you tell us?
Yes. Hi. I've had maybe 3 full body images, thermograms, since probably 2012, since you started. And I had them with Kristin. They were really easy. Probably the hardest part was just cooling down, just like sitting there and making sure that I was cool enough to, I guess, for the images to render correctly. I hope I'm saying that right, KB. But what did I learn? I learned that some of my headaches that I had that just felt really unexplainable were sinuses. My sinuses were just on fire in my thermograms. I had what I was told was potentially like IBS. So that showed up on my thermograms. as did some breast issues that were resolved with dry brushing. So that was my experience. Really, really powerful to see.
Yes. And, being able to see that, a lot of people say, I feel better, or I think I feel better. I'm not sure. But for us to be able to show our clients that they are getting better inspires them and engages them in the treatment and or whatever protocols you're doing with them as a practitioner. So that's really awesome, that it inspired her to get 3 full bodies over the course of a couple of years. I saw somebody else in the chat, and then the chat disappeared, but she said something about she had full bodies.
Yes, Michelle did.
There it is, Michelle. Full bodies wills by a local thermographer. Cool and easy. Awesome. Yes, it's easy and it's non-invasive. So when people come to us, sometimes they don't know what it's going to be like. And so sometimes they have these thoughts like, oh, am I going to be, laying on a stainless steel table and slid into a tube, or something like that? And no, it's okay. It's simple. You sit in front of a detector, or as we affectionately call it, a camera. It's so much more. And we take images of you as we instruct you on the positions to take. And so let's take a little bit of look here at some of the images that we've got. So as you can see on the left-hand side, we have within accepted range. And so if somebody comes to us and they look like this, they're usually, in pretty good shape, at least here on the abdomen. And when we see beyond accepted range, our interpreting physicians will identify that as something like significant or equivocal, meaning they have a question about it. And so what'll happen is this person will go to somebody like you all, their practitioner that they trust, right? And perhaps, and they're going to read that report, and the report's going to say possible liver, issue, or something along those lines. And then the practitioner will perform their, protocols or their treatments. And then the highest and best use of medical thermography is the monitoring of that and watching that change and engaging the patient. And they might not even feel that it's different. Sorry about that. That is my assistant in the background. So anyway, it's a really powerful thing. I'm going to go ahead and mute for just a minute.
Definitely been there. Yeah. Ours is calm right now, but we'll just hang out for a second.
Yes,
So.
we agree that the monitoring is so key. It's like if what you're doing, these treatments and these protocols, is it working or not? Like you can see it in an after image or as you're monitoring, or is it getting worse and you need to try something else? So that's what's really nice, because we all do all these different healthy things. And it's like, we don't really know if it's actually helping or not. But with thermography, you can literally see it's either red or it's not red.
Exactly. You can see it, and the doctors, our interpreting physicians, will give you some. We have a thunderstorm going on right here, by the way, just in case you hear the thunder in the background. But so our interpreting physicians can give you the feedback that you need to keep going, for the practitioner to pivot or the practitioner to change what their protocols are. So over here, what we're looking at is a very interesting sign of cardiac issues. And so this one here is kind of a normal looking chest. This is a male. And then when we look over here, we see this dark hypothermic spot or blue spot over the right breast. I'm sorry, the left breast. And that gives us some signs that perhaps there's some issues with the cardiac and the coronary arteries. Sorry about that. And so this is a depiction of the heart right here. It is not the actual heart, just so you know. It's called an overlay. So, yep. Excuse me one moment.
Oh, the pets.
Yes. And do you guys have any questions about?
Yeah, you can throw them in the chat.
Yeah, throw them in the chat at any time. If you have a question and you're like scared you're gonna forget it, throw it in the chat, and we can definitely at least cover it at the end.
Yep.
Thank you. Thunderstorms and dogs. Okay, so let's move on here. doesn't want to move. We're kind of frozen here for some reason.
Roger had a question about what that heart overlay was.
Sure. So
Maybe.
we have patented overlays, and these patented overlays help people see where the approximate organs are in the body, approximately. And they help our interpreting physicians as they're interpreting kind of, you know, look at those patterns and see the lymph flowing and the organs and things like that. So it's very, very helpful. It's also really kind of impressive too, to see the body like this. And so we use these overlays. They come with your camera system. Yeah, so kind of cool, aren't they? But they aren't the actual organs. Just saying that again, not the actual organs. Okay, so let's take a look at the carotid arteries. This is kind of the within accepted range for intensity. So we call this intensity. And then beyond accepted range for intensity is when we see that carotid artery kind of zipping up the side of the neck, the lateral head. And when we put our overlays on here, we can see where the arteries are, the lymph nodes, the teeth. This is all, again, an overlay. It is not the actual teeth or arteries, but it helps us see them. It helps our clients visualize them as well. They don't know the anatomy as well as we do. So that's carotid artery inflammation. And then what we always say is the coronary arteries mirror the carotid arteries. And so if we've got something going on here, we might also have something going on in the coronary arteries too. So worth a look. Okay, and so over here we have breast thermography. Now, breast thermography is what I call the gateway to full body thermography. And we're going to talk about more about breasts in just a minute, but it's really kind of the mainstay and the premier signature imaging that we do as thermographers, because when people think of thermography, medical thermography, they think of breast. They think of breast thermography, and it's up to us to educate them about full body thermography and what else we can do. So let's talk about breast thermography here. So breast thermography, it's our industry's premier service. It's what they call and ask about the most. We do, and we teach a complete 8-image breast study at all angles. So you'll see it underneath your breast, you'll see anterior breast, you'll see the laterals, you'll see the underarms. Now, this is a really interesting depiction of breasts in a different palette. So you may have seen various palettes. The ones that we showed before was the palette that we normally image in, but this is a palette that helps see patterns here. And when we look at the breasts, our interpreting physicians identify lymphatic congestion, dilated ducts, generalized inflammation, significant patterns, and they will comment on those. Now, it is within FDA guidelines to talk about these kind of things, but not to talk about breast cancer or breast cancer risk. And so we work with the FDA. We're very comfortable with them and working with them. And so we know exactly how to keep you safe as a thermographer, how to keep you within guidelines as we stay within guidelines too. And we make sure that you learn all of those do's and don'ts, what you can and you cannot say. We talk about breast health. We don't talk about breast cancer. We are giving breast health education with every single appointment. And, you know, with so many people requesting breast thermography, and even our women's health studies in our full bodies are made up of, also have breasts included. And so over 50% of our appointment requests are breast thermography. Again, I call it the gateway to full body imaging because there are thermographers that only know to do breasts because they think that's the fastest way to have a busy business. That's true, but full body imaging is so important. I mean, think about some of the things that you all do as practitioners, whether it be clearing the gut or helping the thyroid, working on muscles, helping people to feel better in general from injuries or whatever. And you can use medical thermography to monitor their treatment and their progress and inspire them again and engage them. So we talk a little bit about the sympathetic response, where we look at different areas of the body, and not always are we looking at inflammation, but we're looking at the response on the surface of the skin. We're also looking at injury. So I chose some foot images so you can see injury. You can see strain. You can see a sprained ankle. You can see somebody who dropped something on top of their foot and is in incredible pain. You can see a ankle sprain here. And so looking at extremities is extremely important. It is very interesting, and it really helps doctors watch the healing process. Chiropractors love this kind of thing too. Just love it. Any questions so far about what you're seeing, any of these images? Looking at our comments here to see if we have any. Now, there's all kinds of other things that we can see too. For instance, for those of you, and do we have any acupuncture physicians or anybody who does dry needling or anything like that here? If we do, you know, we're looking at dermatomes and meridians, and we actually have overlays of the meridians that really help our acupuncture physicians, our dermatomes, and helping our chiropractors really be able to get the most out of the imaging. So why would you want to become a thermographer? Well, first of all, it's a very valuable modality because it serves all the other ones. We serve chiropractic, we serve acupuncture physicians, we serve integrative and functional medical doctors. And so we serve that community when they're looking for a non-invasive way. And they're focusing on prevention, aren't they? You're all focusing on prevention, not necessarily waiting until they're so ill and they're 80% into the disease. So if we can see that early inflammation, then we can really make a difference as practitioners. And so it's also a very profitable business. We teach you in our trainings what kind of prices you can charge and what kind of, you know, profit you can expect to make, and how to work with those colleagues that you have in the business of integrative and functional health. And so it really enhances patient-client care. It really does, because to be able to visualize their healing, to be able to identify problems before they're maybe even feeling them, we say in medical thermography, heal before you can feel. So what are the elements of being able to be an excellent thermographer? Well, the elements are the camera, of course, the software, the training, the support that you get, and of course, the medical interpretation that you get. All of these are so important. And really, I've just given you a shopping list, how to shop for your camera system and what to look for and the kind of questions to ask. Okay, so the first thing you want is a really good detector, a camera, a sensor. And when you're looking for the best, there is no question that the brand name FLIR is at the very tippy top of the list. FLIR is the premier, #1, highest quality, multi-billion-dollar company infrared cameras. And medical thermography is this much of what they do. They have all the military contracts. They have a lot of the manufacturing contracts. And we are just a small piece. But Med-Hot is the exclusive partner for medical thermography with FLIR. And that is a badge we wear very proudly. So when somebody calls up big FLIR and says, I want to do medical thermography, they get our phone number, which is really an honor. And so what we do is we take these FLIR cameras that are just, cameras, and we integrate them and make them into a medical system. So we're integrating them with our software, we're integrating them with our stands and all the things we do to make this into a medical class 1 medical device. And the FDA then asks us to become a 510K cleared class 1 medical device. And we have to go through quite a bit to get that 510K clearance. So medical thermography isn't necessarily FDA approved. That's more for drugs. We're FDA cleared, and we maintain a relationship with the FDA. And so we seamlessly integrate these cameras with our patented software. And I'll tell you what, if there's one thing you need to shop for when it comes to medical thermography, it is a good software. If you don't have the software, you could have the best camera in the world, but you don't know what to do with those images or even how to take them. So we're going to talk about the software in a minute. We actually use something called the Gigabyte Ethernet. It's a Gig E, and you can have the best camera in the world, but if you cannot get the data from the camera to your computer, then you don't have anything. And so we have all of these special integrative systems to give you the very best images. Now, I know you're probably right now thinking, that all sounds really expensive. Well, we are the same price as almost everybody out there. So I want to put your mind at ease right there. I'm talking about this high quality stuff, this high quality equipment, but really, we just do it right. We don't charge more for it. So along with our Total Vision software, we have a turnkey system. Basically, when you buy a camera system from us, you just need to buy a stool and some hair ties and a few gowns and you're in business. I mean, you can open up the box and start imaging that day. Believe it or not, you can. So let's talk a little bit more about camera resolution. We talked about resolution, and resolution is critical for pattern recognition. Now, many of you who have had, and I can send you these images if you'd like, many of you who have had thermography in the past, you may have had something that looked like this. This right here is what some thermographers are still paying a lot of money for, this kind of old pixelated resolution. And this is about 19,000 pixels, what you're looking at. It's what they did back in the early 2000s. And then they advanced a little bit to 76,000 pixels. And you see a decent image there. There's a lot of thermographers that are very proud to use this kind of resolution. And then there's the top of the line resolution, and that's 307,000 pixels. And the 307,000 pixels is what everybody in the industry, in the medical thermography industry, wants to have and wants to point at. Okay, they spend a lot of money, by the way, you know, on these camera systems, but ours are priced at or below what everybody else is. And yes, we have the best integration ever because of our software, which is patented. I'll tell you more about that. So let's talk about camera resolution again. This is what a lot of people are using right here. They're using, I don't even know, I know that's a foot, but that's about all I know, okay? Look at the pattern when you actually have good resolution. Look at that. I mean, that is powerful. Now, this is what we call asymmetry. Asymmetry is what our doctors are looking for when the two sides of the body don't match. Very fascinating for those of you who are into acupuncture, that, you know, acupuncture has known this for a long time. Chinese medicine has, that when one foot is injured, the other foot goes cold trying to heal it. And we see it all the time. And so when you're an acupuncture physician and you've got a foot that's in trouble, you put needles in the other foot too to support it and to help it heal its partner. And now we can see that in living color. Here's some more thermographic images. These are captured with our FLIR A700 camera. This is thyroid, also dental. You'll see it comes down from the mouth and kind of rains down on the throat through the submandibular lymph nodes. This is very powerful because the majority of breast cancer tumors have a root canal on the same side. So when we can look at dental and we can see the effects of just an old root canal, they don't even feel. But look at this inflammation, that's powerful. This also speaks to the thyroid here as well. And we image the thyroid very, very easily. It talks to us, I always say, in the infrared very nicely and loudly. These are some other images here of back pain, upper back pain, neck pain. Chiropractic loves this. So if anybody's a chiropractor in our group tonight, very powerful images. And here we go with our wonderful software. We have a patented user-friendly software that makes it so easy to take a good image. It seamlessly integrates with our FLIR cameras to capture these beautiful high resolution images. And it walks you right through taking a very professional image. Now that you know what some professional images look like, start looking around the internet and look at what people are passing off as professional images. It's horrible. And what we do is we teach you how to fit people in overlays and take a proper image. You can see some of our different palettes down here as well. What's really cool about that is when you fit them in a template, and you learn how to do that in training, it's not hard, we teach you, and you use the tools that are in our software to fit them. And then you capture this beautiful high resolution image. Well, when you do that, you have consistency over time. So when they come to you and say month 1, and then they come back for their follow-up in say month 4, you have the same image every time. And so this consistency over time of taking good images for standardized imaging can't be understated. It can't be overstated because what's important here is that we have comparable images so that you can look and see if your clients are actually improving and you've taken the images properly. So I get on my high horse about that because nobody has our software. As a matter of fact, when you go back here, right here, this is the software of the company that took these images. That's the software, a palette bar. We have a palette bar. It's right here. It gives you a whole bunch of data and it's combined with some great tools. So when it comes to high quality images, our software is what helps you capture them. Any questions about that? Any software questions? Okay, so when it comes to training, we make sure that you are properly trained. Dr. Carol tells a horror story, and we're going to meet Dr. Carol tonight, where she's going to make a celebrity appearance tonight. Well, she tells a story about buying a very expensive camera system, one of those old pixelated ones back in the early 2000s. And she was in a classroom where they spent a couple hours with her telling her how to take images. And then she went and tried to do a full body, and it was an epic fail, and it took hours and hours. Why? Because she didn't have any hands-on training. We do hands-on virtual training. We used to have people come to our classroom, and they had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun training them. We had models come in, but we realized during COVID that we could do it over Zoom and save them a ton of travel money, hotel money, etc. And so now we do it as a 3-day hands-on virtual training with live volunteer models. We give you personal instruction, and we have opportunities for continuing education for advanced capabilities. So we start you off with a 3-day, and we continue you on with continuing education throughout your career. Now, who is going to help you out with all this? We have a great company, a great team. Med-Hot is a global, we sell cameras all over the world. I'm training somebody right now from Curacao, the island of Curacao in the Caribbean. We provide a full global service, turnkey medical thermography solutions, and we have been doing it for 20 years. Dr. Carol here started out as our founder. She is our founder. She's my advisor. I talk to her every day. I bought the company from her after being with her for 14 years, and she and I are in lockstep. And she's with me until I feel confident enough to let her go and have that wonderful retirement that she's always wanted. And we have a whole team and more. We have tech support. We have social media support so that you can come and share our posts. And we have so much here to support you. We have a whole nonprofit organization called the Institute for the Advancement of Medical Thermography, and we provide the continuing education for you through that. Now, I want to introduce somebody who's very special to me. She has been my mentor for the past for the past 2 decades. And I want to give her a really proper introduction. And then she is going to take over and talk to you about the 6 critical facts for a clinical thermography business. And I know you're going to want to pay attention to this because she's a legend. So let me just give her a proper introduction to here. Dr. Carol Chandler's story is one of transformation and unwavering dedication. Initially, she carved out her path as a sharp businesswoman and accountant, but life had other plans for Dr. Carol when a pivotal health revelation shifted her focus to the world of natural health. Over 3 decades ago, Dr. Carol became a doctor of Oriental medicine, a decision that would forever alter the trajectory of her career. And it was during this time that she encountered medical thermography. Dr. Carol recognized the immense potential of medical thermography. By seeing inflammation, she could more accurately diagnose and monitor her patients. However, she wasn't content with the existing thermography systems available. Determined to make a difference, she embarked on a mission to create something better for all of us. And so Med-Hot was born, a superior imaging system designed by Dr. Carol herself. But her impact extended beyond the camera system. She understood that well-trained thermographers were essential for the field's growth, and driven by this vision, she developed comprehensive training programs, ensuring that new thermographers could provide professional, efficient services worldwide. Her tireless service to the global community of thermography earned her numerous accolades, and it was my honor to see her receive many of them. Yet perhaps the most fitting title bestowed upon Dr. Carol is the title Mother of Modern Day Thermography. Dr. Carol's legacy reverberates through the industry, inspiring countless professionals and shaping the way we approach health and wellness. So let's give a very warm virtual welcome to the amazing Dr. Carol Chandler, an innovator, a mentor, and a true pioneer in the field of medical thermography. Dr. Carol, there you are. Unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yay, we're all clapping for you.
Wow, Kristin, you know how to give an introduction.
Aha.
She's my best cheerleader ever.
I am the president of her fan club.
Well, I've been sitting here patting myself on the back because I did such a good job teaching you how to sell thermography. So I'm thinking words and you're saying them. So yeah, we're in lockstep, that's for sure. And I'm so proud to have Kristin doing, carrying on, and she's taking it to the next level. So that was my plan.
Thank you.
So you didn't leave me much to talk about, but I started out with Meditherm. Anybody ever heard of Meditherm? So that was that was back in 2000, and I'm an acupuncture physician, and so I bought a camera for my practice, and I could never practice without it again, because it was a tool that I had that my peers didn't have. And it gave me so much insight into the health of my patients. And so I was like, I was all in. And so I was with Meditherm for several years, and I bought that camera, paid a fortune for it, and had to borrow the money from my parents. Can you imagine? And so we had, that camera is kind of a dinosaur now, but I thought I had the best thing in the world. And so after about 5 years, I figured out maybe I could do a better job. So I started Med-Hot Thermal Imaging. And and I think I did. Kristin thinks so too.
I do.
And so I actually had experience with a lot of cameras. So I had the Meditherm, and in the beginning, I bought a whole bunch of Meditherm cameras to sell in my own business. And then I moved on to ICI and VTI. And then I also bought cameras from a company in Germany, which turned out to be a statistical, logistical issue. And then finally, I said, I give it up. I'm going to FLIR. And so I called them, and they said, heck yeah, come on with us. So they've been really, really good to us. And the cameras have been fabulous for us. And so it's not like we don't know, what's out there. So the software, of course. So the camera is your tool is important. It's not the most important thing, but it is very important, because you have to have quality, and people can see the quality. Kristin showed it to you. And FLIR, if you ever purchased any equipment, you know how important support is. And if you don't have good support, you can be in a world of hurt. And so we're very, very sensitive about that. So camera is important, the quality. I think Kristin covered that pretty good. The software is something I developed myself. So I was a user. I wasn't some guy who wanted just to make a program that you could capture and save. I needed something that I could use. So we developed the software, and we've been developing it since 2010, and it's pretty mature at this point. And I think that, and I made it useful to the thermographer. So Kristin didn't even begin to cover all the features that we have, but we make it easy for you to carry on a business that you can be proud of. And the training, of course, Kristin is the ultimate trainer. She's been training people for me forever. And we initially had people come to our office, and we had a training center, and they were there for 3 days. And, you know, we did it up big. We fed them, and we had a great time, but then it was nice to meet everybody. But during COVID, well, you know what happened. So Kristin, so we started doing it on online, and it's working really well, right, Kristin? And it's saving everybody a lot of money.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I didn't have to have that big old training center anymore. That saved me money. And so the training is, Kristin is, I mean, she'll teach you how to do it. And she says to them, don't let Dr. Carol, what is it you say to them? Don't get the call from Dr. Carol.
Oh, yeah. Don't make Carol call you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because every so often, you know, you'll catch something, you'll send him what I call a Dr. Carol love note.
Yeah. So after Kristin trains them, everybody does a full body for a test, and I grade it. And you better watch out, because she's a stickler. So before we put you out there, we make sure you're doing it right. So then there's the interpretation service. So because most of our thermographers never, you know, don't have any experience, and you can't really do the interpretations yourself. So we have Physician's Insight, and I'm very involved in that. And so we provide reports that keep you, like Kristin said, keep you safe. We have to stay within the guidelines. Anybody that's in the alternative medicine world knows that there's certain things we can say and not say, and they're looking out for us too. They go on the websites and they check, see what you're saying, and they don't care one thing about the camera. Okay, all they care about is what you're saying about it. Okay, so we keep ourselves and you safe with the way we word our reports. We never say anybody's at risk. We don't do a risk factor at all. We say it's an elevated level of concern or a lower level concern, that sort of thing. But we keep it nice and legal. Then and then support. Support is if you've got a problem. So my husband David does the support. IT support, he does all support. And he, when somebody calls him up and says, I've got a problem with my camera, his first question is there a naked person sitting in front of you? We don't call me, but don't check your camera before the client gets there with their clothes off. So, but he can always fix it. So we're the first line of support. I would say 97% of the time we can take care of it. And if it's a camera issue, I mean, it is a machine, right? We can determine that for you. So everybody loves David. He has lots of patience with everybody but me. So anyway, that's kind of our story. Is there anything else, Kristin, that you want me to mention?
You know, you were talking about Dave and tech support, and I can't even tell you how important Dave has been to so many of us. You know, when you get into a jam or you just can't figure out what's going on, Dave will hop on your computer with you through AnyDesk Now, and I swear he fixes 99.999% of anything that's going on. So you have the best tech support in the world with Dave. And but we also have the FLIR warranty. Carol, do you want to speak to that? Because you know, we have gotten a lot of orphans in from other companies because they don't have the abilities to support, you know, their discontinued cameras. But FLIR, you know, they're FLIR. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's a 2-year warranty on the camera. The detector is, I believe, it's a 10-year warranty
It's
on
a
the
10,
detector.
yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So FLIR is, you know, that's part of doing business with the right company. And what else did you want me to say?
Well, you know, I think it's important because just the orphans that we've gotten in where their camera has been discontinued, but they don't still have parts for it.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas FLIR always has parts. Even after they discontinue a camera, they can still fix it and service it.
Yeah, so we've taken in a lot of people that had built their thermography business, and now their camera doesn't work and they can't get a replacement, and or they've had some other issues, you know, with the providers. And
it's important.
Yeah, so we can help everybody.
Yeah, so we've, you know, being in business for 20 years has really made a difference for so many thermographers because we have all this experience. There's not one thing that's happened that or could happen to you or that's happened to someone that we haven't seen it 3 or 4 times at least, or 25 or 100 times. And so we have the ability to make sure that you're successful. If you call us up, I had someone call me up the other day and say, how do I talk to my chiropractor? I had 3 different, you know, brochures to send her that she can print. I had a whole bunch of advice for her. We spent about 15-20 minutes on the phone, and she called me back later and said, I talked to the chiropractor and I got the business. He wants me to come in an image for him. So, you know, it's this experience that we have. I've got 15 years with you. You've got 25 years in thermography and as an acupuncture physician beyond that. And we just know how to talk to people to help you be the most successful that you can be. And Carol, if you're finished, I'll move on to interpretation, or if you have anything else to say. I've got couple more things to say here, and then we're good to go, or to do Q&A.
Okay, yes, I do. Roger was asking about the
I see that.
Yeah. Of the camera, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's really important. So I have people that are still using their cameras that I sold to them in 2010. So I've never had a camera that had to be junked or thrown away or anything. It's always they can always, you know, fix it. So it has good life expectancy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Time has showed us that. Anybody else? Well, thanks, Dr. Carol, and thanks for your service to the medical thermography community. If we had a bunch of thermographers on here right now, that they would all be applauding Dr. Carol because she has just been such a inspiration for all of us. And anytime, you know, you have a little question or you just need to pick me up, you call Carol and she'll get you there. And she and I talk a lot every day. A lot of people were saying, okay, the handoff from Dr. Carol to Kristin, how is that looking? How is that feeling? And she and I are talking every day for sometimes hours, you know, making sure that this handoff is really solid. So we're together here and to serve you.
And I really feel like it's in the family.
Absolutely. Yes. The Med-Hot family kind of feeling is important. When you buy a camera system from us, you're part of the Med-Hot family.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Thank
can
you.
Everybody, thank you, Dr. Carol. You are amazing. We love you. So interpretation, some people don't even realize they need to get interpretation. They say, well, what, don't I just take the images and look at them and say, that's red? Oh, that's redder. Oh, well, interpretation is something Dr. Carol trains all of our interpreting physicians. And not only has she developed this amazing camera system, but she has also developed an amazing interpretation system. So our reports are legendary. They're the ones that really give you the good information, the information that you need as a practitioner to help your clients. And also, they're safe and legal. And that is so important. When the FDA walks in our door, and they always do it unannounced, we welcome them. Dr. Carol has cookies ready. You know, because we're not afraid, because we know that we have followed all the guidelines, and our interpretations are one of those places where the guidelines are very important to follow. And we follow them for you to keep you safe and keep your business legal. So we have MDs and DOs do our interpretations. If you shop around, you'll see that you've got the occasional dentist, somebody with a doctor before his name, but the MDs and DOs are kind of hard to find in terms of good interpretation. Dr. Carol, again, trains him herself, and she usually trains them for several months, and then she overwrites them, meaning she looks at their interpretations and makes sure that they're okay. They're beautiful interpretations that have some lifestyle suggestions, have, you know, will tell you where those important inflammatory trouble spots are, and but they're not going to take away your authority as a practitioner. They're not going to tell you what to do. Your clients will turn back to you for help. They won't, you know, say, well, it says this right here. So that's important for you all as practitioners to know. There's no reference to the risk of cancer. That is deliberately done to keep you safe and legal. And we have a very seamless process and fast turnaround. If you talk to people who have had thermography before, sometimes I talked to someone a couple days ago who said, I'm still waiting for my report from July. We usually turn around our reports in about, less than a week. You're going to have the report. Maybe during a busy time, it'll be 2 weeks. Like right now, it's a busy time. We're still less than a week. So beautiful reports make you look good and give you the information and the monitoring that you need to monitor your clients and to be very successful. So let's talk about what it means to buy a Med-Hot system. We have a comprehensive business-ready package. You can unbox it and you can be imaging within an hour. We have the FLIR A700 or A500 ultra high resolution cameras, or high resolution camera in the A500. These are all the best of the best. When you are interested in talking more about what kind of camera you're looking for, we have a discussion between just the two of us, and we will send you a quote, and we will send you images, and we will help you make the best decision for your business financially, as well as the kind of camera that you need. It seamlessly integrates with our total vision capture software to streamline your workflow. We include the laptop computer that's all preloaded with our software and ready to go. It comes with a stand. It comes with our 3-day hands-on virtual training. So this is a turnkey purchase here. You have a pre-training study course to kind of get you ready for the hands-on training. We give you a business membership to the Institute for the Advancement of Medical Thermography for continuing education, support, networking. We even have a Find You tool on there that's very well search engine optimized. So people who are looking for thermography will find you by going to the IAMT website. Of course, we have our preferred interpretation service from Physicians Insight for expert analysis, and we offer that tech support. Also, just all the nice little perks we offer, like if you still want to talk to Dr. Carol, you can call her and you can get her. You can call me, you can text me. We are there for you to help you. We are not just teaching you how to point and shoot and loving you and leaving you. And that is very important to us, as it should be to you. So if you're ready to heat things up, visit our website at medhot.com, send me an email, give me a call, text me. You can text me on either one of these numbers, but this is the one I'll answer you the quickest on, the 3668. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, like, comment, and share. And when you're a thermographer of ours, you can use those images and those wonderful posts that we put up and post them as your own. And we'll shout right back out at you and start a little buzz. So if you're ready, we are too. we're happy to chat with you one-on-one and talk a little bit more about, your needs and what you'd like to do, and help you start a very profitable and successful medical thermography business. Any questions?
Yeah, let's open it up
Awesome.
for Q&A. I know I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
I know that lots of people are considering thermography as either like a side gig, like a side hustle that they would do part-time, or like in addition to the other services that they're already offering. And then I know that some people are, considering something to transition into altogether that could potentially be full-time. But can you discuss maybe some general numbers of like what a thermographer could potentially earn as a side gig or a full-time, work?
Right, exactly.
Sure. What we have a little Excel spreadsheet that we can send you. And what it does is it helps you kind of estimate a normal day of imaging, a normal week of imaging, and then kind of extrapolate that out with what's pretty normal. And so we always have to say results aren't typical, because we have some that jump out of the gate and they're imaging 40 or 50 people a month right out the box, and other people that have decided to do it part-time that are imaging maybe 10 or 12 people a month. We have, and I can send this to anybody who wants it, this little Excel spreadsheet that helps you put in what you think your time commitment is going to be. The example that we have on there is 12 images per week, which is very doable. I did that and more when I was working as a thermographer and full-time. And that one came out to be, after we took all of your expenses out and everything, that one came out to be very nice per week. I think it was somewhere around $3,000 gross per week. And again, we can't make income claims. We don't want to make claims, but what we want to say is what our other thermographers are doing, what kind of a normal thermographer would do on a day-to-day basis who's working full-time. And again, contact me and I'll send you that little sheet, and we can talk together about what your time commitment is, and then we can watch how those numbers change. Roger.
All right, I've got a few questions if you guys can bear with me. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that we got trained on it, but we wanted to have somebody else trained to do this down the road. What does that look like for you guys?
You just send them to one of our trainings. And so we do one-on-one trainings. And so what we'll do is we'll talk to you and say, okay, you've got a thermographer you want to train. I do this all the time, by the way, like 2 or 3 a month, where the thermographer has left, the original camera owner, her thermographer left, moved on, advanced, whatever she did. And then they just send it to us. We work out a one-on-one 3-day hands-on training using your camera system, with volunteer models who come in, and we teach them hands-on, just like we did you when you bought your camera system.
How much does that cost to have that person trained?
$950 for 3 days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So initially it's included, and then
Yes.
once that's passed, okay.
Right. Now, if you, let's say, you buy a camera system and you want to learn, but you also want your receptionist to learn. She's good. She's going to be your thermographer, or your medical assistant, or whoever that is. We'll train both of you together, and that'll be included. So the price includes 2 of you.
Okay.
If you want 1 or 2 of you, we can't train one-on-one more than 3 people. So we do 2, but yeah.
Okay. How many people let's say in an 8-hour day, if people were coming to you, how many people could you image within one day, within one 8-hour time period?
Please give me a lunch break, Roger.
Of course.
Okay, I got a lunch. Thank you. I could probably do, it depends on the imaging, but probably a busy, well-trained thermographer who's been around for a while could probably do 8 to 10 a day, depending if you're looking at breasts or full bodies or a mixture. So we do the full body study, which you can do in about an hour. We do a breast study, which you can do in 15 to 20 minutes, depending on the history you're taking. And then we do, these are just main packages. You can do anything you want, but our main package is the woman's health study or men's health study. You can do in a half an hour to 40 minutes. So you want to give yourself a little couple minutes in between each imaging. And so that works out to be, you could, if you're busy, do 8 to 10 a day. Now, let's say you're just going to have an average day of like 4 or 5. That's a nice day. 2 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, you've made a nice paycheck for yourself. You've even paid rent to the doctor that you're at their office, or you're in your own office. And that's a nice day. And that turns out to be a really nice week too.
Okay. If you guys, do you pay so much for the report that comes back?
Yeah, the interpretations, Physicians Insight is very reasonable. So let's just take a breast imaging. Most people are charging somewhere between $200 and $250 for a breast imaging. And then our interpreting physicians are going to charge you $58 to interpret that.
Okay.
To keep everything else. Now, the full body that's the most we're ever going to charge, and that's $133.
Okay.
Yeah. And everything in between $78 and $98 for that woman's health study or men's health study.
All right.
And I charged $399 for the women's health study. So.
And that's the full body?
No, the full body is like the woman's full body study, and I used to charge $550 for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got it too. I mean,
gotcha.
People like to have those full bodies, and they're willing to pay for them. It's work. You're a full body study. You're working.
Okay.
Yeah. So charge for it.
What are the room requirements, temperature wise, size wise, all those sorts of things?
Excellent questions. We teach you all of that in training. By the way, you'll know all this, but absolutely want to answer those questions. So a minimum probably 8 by 10 room, and that's super tight. I would like to see at minimum 10 by 10 room, an exam room where you go into the doctor's office and they put you in the room with the big table. I used to push those tables up against the wall and image corner to corner, and I did it. We teach you how to do that because those rooms are about, I think, 8 by 9 or something like that. They're small. We can do it. So you don't need a big, huge space. You don't need a big, huge space.
And temperature requirement, what does the
yeah, between like 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it cool. You don't want your client shivering or sweating. That's a sympathetic response that's going to throw off your imaging. But you want them comfortable is the primary, is that your patient is comfortable. But that is a room, the room that's good for imaging is usually somewhere around 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I also want to mention that you guys use a privacy screen also, right? Not every thermographer offers that.
Thank you. I'm going to put that in my presentation because it is the thing that is on the minds of most clients that come in to get imaged. Because if they've had other thermography, they've most likely, anybody sat naked in front of somebody aiming a camera at their breasts. Anybody? Okay, I see some head shaking. We teach privacy imaging and we prioritize privacy imaging. And we have that camera system. Hang on here. That camera system is designed to roll away from you so that you can have a little distance between yourself and the camera, which means the camera is looking at the client, but you aren't, and they're not looking at you because you have a privacy screen in between you and the client. So all the client sees is your hand reaching out to move the camera up and down or tilt it. And so we teach you exactly how to put the room together like that and have that privacy imaging. And we even teach you, like, if you have to go back there and help them with a position, we teach you the words to say, like, go ahead and slip on your gown just for a moment while I come back there and help position you. When we start doing the extremities, we let the women put their bras on, things like that, that really help add that that modesty factor. Trust me, we're all about that. It's very important to us, and we actually teach it.
Yeah, I think that is so unique because I do not have that option. And
Yes.
you know, there's women who are like, I've had kids, I don't care, anybody can look at me, you know, but I have had a couple women that were really mortified to be naked, having their picture taken. It was like borderline traumatic for them, honestly.
Yes.
So yeah, the privacy screen is really nice.
Even if you've had 6 kids and you don't care anymore, they care. They care. And they would prefer to not sit there naked in front of you. And so, and we have some male thermographers who are doing very well using the privacy system, you know, and we teach it. We teach the privacy system. So know that you've got the edge right there with the privacy. Yes, yes. Somebody asked about our advanced training. Yeah. We have advanced training. We have the IAMT, the Institute for the Advancement of Medical Thermography. I'm the trainer for the IAMT, and we always are giving you new opportunities. We have a webinar every month that we're having one next Thursday, the 10th, on breast health and how to talk to people about breast health and how, as thermographers, to market your business when you're a thermographer. If anybody wants to join, I'd be happy to give you the link. And so we are always giving you opportunities to learn more from experts. One of the finest breast surgeons in the country, Dr. Kristin Horner, is actually one of our interpreting physicians. And she interprets breast images. And if you ever have a scary or, you know, questionable breast image, you can ask for her to be your interpreting physician, and she can even do a private consultation with your client and you on the phone. Fabulous opportunity there. So there's lots of opportunities to learn and get the CE credits in order to advance in the world of medical thermography. Just wanted to mention too quickly, wanted to make sure, because I missed this slide, and we want to make sure that you know that we're here for you every step of the way. We also have, and we'll be happy to chat price with you. Happy to. Don't want to hold that back. So if anybody's interested in price, I'm happy to talk to you about that. But we have a software subscription service now, which knocks thousands of dollars off of your camera system. And we also have some very creative financing we can do both in-house and through some of the financing companies that we work with, like 90 days, you know, with no payments, or $99 a month, things like that, that help get you rolling, will get your camera system in your hands and get you earning money first before you have to make your first big payment on possibly a loan or anything like that. We are not priced like Solex. We are priced appropriately. Our A500 is $24,900. But we can do all kinds of wonderful creative things. Take $7,000 right off of that right away if you go with our software subscription of $249 a month. So I just want to put a little bug in your ear that it does not have to be expensive, and it can actually be very convenient for you to finance your system.
That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a really good deal, actually, based off of everything you just said already and everything that's included with the support. And it's just, yeah. And the best camera, having the best camera on the market.
Right. Right. So y'all feel like you know a little bit about thermography here and what you need to do to shop for a thermography system?
I think so.
Heads
Yeah.
I see some head shaking. Good. Good. And we're here to chat with you. You know, just let me put my number back here. Copy it down.
Yeah. Take a screenshot.
I'm training tomorrow morning. So I might not answer your call, but I can set up a call for the afternoon with you. If anybody wants to have a one-on-one, we'll just talk a little bit about what your needs are. And I want to hear your vision. You know, when we hear your vision, we learn about what you're doing. Like Stacy shared a little bit about her quantum healing business that she's opening up now. fascinating. We love to hear what you guys are doing. We love to chat with you about how thermography can help enhance what you're doing and add another profit stream to your business. So let's chat.
Nice. Thank you so much. This has been extremely informative. And I think for people who are just kind of curious about thermography, it was a really, really great intro. And I really like how you differentiated yourself amongst other thermography cameras and companies. And so it was just perfectly informative for what we're looking to share with others. So thanks again for the presentation.
Thank you again, Melinda and Scott, and everybody else for attending. And Dr. Carol.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.